Now bring in retired captain for the Los Angeles Police Department, Jerry Rodriguez. Jerry, thanks for hopping on with me. I mean, it's just such a confusing case, right? They say there's no foul play, but it is suspicious. Then they say carbon monoxide wasn't it. So in your mind, in your 26 years in law enforcement, what possibilities are still left on the table?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. Look, this is something that really plays out every day, but this is unique. This is getting not only national, but I would argue even international. So what law enforcement has to do is to really be thorough, methodical, and not leave one stone unturned. So they need to start from the outside, work their way all the way in, and not only identify, capture, retain, and test every piece of evidence. And the reality is, when cases like this, when there's no obvious sign of foul play, no trauma to the body, no crime visible, it's really a joint effort, law enforcement and the medical examiner, to determine the manner and cause of death. And I think that's where we are now. It does seem very different. The manner with which they were found, the time, and their reclusiveness also makes it difficult. But the police department, working in conjunction with the ME, I trust and I know will eventually come up with a cause.
Yeah, and speaking of the medical examiner, authorities were pretty quick to tell us that it wasn't a carbon monoxide poisoning or a leak. Would that same test, though, have indicated what else was or wasn't in their system at that time?
No, I believe we heard also that they've done they're waiting for a toxicology that will tell us what, if anything, was in their systems at the time. There's a lot of other tests. So your first question, no, I don't believe that the test was very specific for the carbon monoxide. And that's something that we look at right away in a location like this, an event like this, where there's no other sign of trauma or foul play. That was ruled out rather quickly. The other thing would be a serial killer or some of that nature, which is of grave concern to the community. That was not the case as well. So now we just need to meticulously analyze and test all of the gathered evidence, including all of the results conducted on their remains.
Yeah, and as Brooke was reporting right before this and kind of teed us up, she was sharing that authorities are having a difficult time creating a timeline on their deaths. One of the things that keeps standing out to me is that in these reports, Captain, they keep talking about the decay to her body, the mummification in her hands and feet, but we're not hearing that same information about him. I mean, maybe we're just not getting the full story here, but does that indicate to you that she went first?
No, no, I wouldn't say that at all. And
Okay.
in fact, I'll tell you from law enforcement, we really hesitate on saying anything like that, especially when it is in the purview of the medical examiner.
So what else will they be having trouble with in creating a timeline? I know they have the last events on his pacemaker being, I believe it was February 17th. What other challenges are they facing in creating a timeline?
Well, I think the fact that no one was there or nor was nearby in some of the normal neighborhoods, neighbors can see a person coming or going or can talk about the last time they saw them. I would be looking for any digital evidence within the house or outside of the house that can track maybe when they let the dogs out, when they come or go, or maybe even cameras or any other devices that were, turned on or turned off. If they turn on the alarm every night, turn it off, etc. You're going to be combing all of that available information to gather that timeline. In this case, it will be a little more difficult, but that means they're going to have to take their time and really dig in and interview anyone and everyone that may have had some information.
And I know, to your point, this has now garnered international attention, everybody on the edge of their seat wanting more information. When do you think we might get some more info on those toxicology reports, kind of a realistic timeline for more scoop here?
Yeah, that's a great question, Markie. And I know that as fans of Mr. Hackman, we all want that information. It is in no interest. It is not in the best interest of law enforcement or the ME to rush it, because once you put something out, you can never retract it fully. So it's important that they take their time to put out qualified, supported information. I suspect whether they put it out or not, they'll start to get some information probably 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month after some of these tests have been commenced.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.